Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
So check it out. The D6 Squad has merch now. We got hoodies, tees, mugs, whatever you need. Check it out. Link in the description. What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. I just saw something yesterday that said that the Giants are dead last in the average yards after the catch. Now last year our average yards after the catch was 6. This year is 3.9, which is dead last in the league. Only the Ravens had less yards after the catch than us. And that just pretty much shows you, I mean, they have Mark Andrews. He's not really a YAC guy. They have, Marquise Brown, you would expect him to be one because of his speed, but it hasn't really worked out too much for them. And they're the only team with less yards, and they still average more than us. I think they're over 4. The Giants have also gone from 233 passing yards per game to just a little bit over 180. And it just really shows. You can say all you want about Daniel Jones. You can even say all you want about these receivers, which I'll get to later on in this video. But the bottom line is this system is broken. If you're consistently not getting any yards after the catch, it doesn't matter if you have, Golden Tate is a YAC person, but we only threw it to him deep. So every time he caught the ball, it was a jump ball or, something where you're standing at the first down marker and you catch it and fall down. That's Jason Garrett's prerogative. He loves to throw these curl routes, these routes where people are not moving when they catch the ball. And it's just not what you want to do in today's game. The Chiefs, the 49ers, the Rams, those are the teams leading in yards after the catch. And you know why? It's not because they have these dynamic receivers, and sure, they have good players, but it's not because they have all these dynamic receivers and they're just so good because they're the 49ers or the Rams or the Chiefs. It's because they actually have smart people calling plays for them. And I don't say this to personally attack Jason Garrett. It's just, why wouldn't you want to get people the ball in motion? We constantly are doing something where either we're throwing it so deep to where it becomes a jump ball, to where when they catch it, they fall down, which, I would take more of that, but we don't even do that much. And other than that, we're just throwing curl routes or throwing a route where, someone is just standing in place. And that works with Jason Witten, who wasn't really going to be a YAC person anyway. That works with so many people. We barely throw any screens. And when we do, they're like weird screens that we're throwing the ball like 10 yards behind the line to Sterling Shepard to do something. And it always seems to be in the red zone when we try these weird screen plays, and it just doesn't work. So for the Giants to take the next step, they're going to listen. Jason Garrett seems like he's coming back next year. I'm hoping that he's spending this offseason focusing on how he can get better at getting yards after the catch, and that we're not running the same thing next year. Because listen, we can go out and get Kenny Golladay, who's not really the best yards after the catch guy. We can go out and get Kyle Pitts, who I think is a decent yards after the catch guy. We can go out and get Jamar Chase, who I think is the best YAC guy in the draft. Or we can get Waddle, who is a really good YAC person. But at the end of the day, Golden Tate, even in his advanced age, is still a decent YAC guy in my opinion, but we didn't give him any opportunities to do it. The defender is moving. You're not. You're basically, every time you're catching the ball, you're protecting yourself because you're a sitting target and the defense is already coming at you. So Jason Garrett definitely needs to look in the mirror and figure out a way to fix this, because this is not something that's just going to magically get better with the law of averages. And, the more curl routes that you run, the more opportunity you'll have to break a big play. That doesn't really make sense. What are the odds of someone catching something and someone, hitting them in the back? What are the odds of them breaking that tackle? Very low. Now, if they do, that'll be a good play. It's possible to break that tackle, but you're usually not going to be able to do that. So I really want Jason Garrett to finally start to look at how he can recreate yards after the catch, how he can give his receivers a chance to get yards after the catch. And that's pretty much what he needs to look at this offseason. It's been really bad. This offense has, to average over 180 a game is ridiculous. To average the points that we averaged this year was ridiculous. And like I said, you can talk about Daniel Jones, you can talk about, everything that you have, but at the end of the day, Daniel Jones is an NFL player. He's an NFL player. He threw 24 touchdowns last year in a scheme that seemed to fit him better. So if he's able to do that, then he's able to do better than what we've done this year. Now, second part of why this is so low and why our passing game has regressed so much, besides the scheme, which I give probably 70% of this blame, even more than the receivers that I've complained about, is the receivers in general. Now, Sterling Shepard, he's been a great possession type of receiver, whether he's played outside, whether he's played inside. But at the end of the day, he's never been the best yards after the catch receiver. He's not the most agile person, like someone that's going to make you miss in the open field. He's not, crazy strong to where he's going to be stiff arming people. So he's not the most dynamic athlete in open space, but I would say he's good at getting open. And he's not the best YAC guy. He's just not. And it just shows this year he wasn't able to consistently get yards after he caught the ball, partially because of the scheme and partially because he's not really that guy. Same thing with Darius Slayton. He is a 4-3 guy running in a straight line. He's gotten pretty decent at that post route, breaking inside. But he's not the most, agile, wiggly type of wide receiver. He's not really the kind of guy that's going to catch something and then, cut back and make someone miss. Odell Beckham, first off, he was like almost guaranteed 5 or 6 yards after he caught the ball. And we don't have anybody on their team like that. Maybe you could kind of compare Golden Tate after the catch to him. But we didn't give Golden Tate any chances, which brings me my point. All of our receivers that had the chance to get the ball in open space, they were Sterling Shepard most of the time, Darius Slayton most of the time. And I would say that our best open field guys, besides Saquon Barkley, he obviously went out, and that number probably is higher if Saquon Barkley is there because of the big plays he can make out of that backfield. And, people like Alvin Kamara are usually towards the top because they're running backs and they're naturally going to be able to get those yards after the catch coming out of that backfield. But excluding Saquon Barkley, I would say our best athletes in open space are Evan Ingram and Golden Tate, who probably won't be back next year. And Evan Ingram usually ran a stick route, which is catching the ball, facing a quarterback, standing in place, which is not going to give you a good opportunity to catch that ball and turn up the field. And, he very rarely ran those shallow crosses. And when he did, he consistently caught the ball, or, whenever he catches the ball. When he did, he caught the ball and he was able to get, 5-6 yards after because of his speed and his agility. And then when you look at Golden Tate, he was consistently used in these curl routes. It seems like these two, it's almost like a sabotage. The post routes that Slayton caught that, if someone like, a good YAC receiver like Odell would catch. When Slayton caught those posts, he was basically going down. He's not making anybody miss. He's not doing anything special after the catch. When Sterling Shepard caught those slants and those posts and those, comebacks where he's got space, it didn't really matter because that's not his forte. Golden Tate, the only catches that he really caught were, the jump balls where after you catch the ball, you're falling on the ground, or he would catch these curl routes. So not enough was done to get the ball into Golden Tate's hand to let him create after the catch, which has been his forte since he got into the NFL. I don't understand why. I really don't. And they tried it a little bit more with Ingram. But at the end of the day, Ingram, first off, he's not the best at the YAC yardage. And then second of all, I mean, he can't catch. He can't catch. And, you know, that just happens that way. But next year, with the addition of hopefully a wide receiver, I'm thinking at this point it's going to be at least Jamar Chase or Jalen Waddle. Because Devontae Smith is pretty much wrapped up. He's wrapped up. I'm pretty sure he's going to be gone in the first 8 picks, like as a lock completely, unless something crazy happens, which, you know, hopefully not. But it's going to either be Jamar Chase or Jalen Waddle. And both of those receivers, even Devontae Smith too, if he magically fell, those receivers are great after the catch. But in their offenses, they catch the ball on the move consistently. They catch the ball on the move, and that allows them to create in the open field. If Jason Garrett cannot get them into the open field consistently, we're going to see more of the same next year. We're going to be talking about how Daniel Jones can't create more with better talent. Or maybe we have still a low YAC, still a low YAC number, but we just have more big plays because everybody's catching the ball and going down when they catch it. Either way, no matter who we add to this offense this offseason, Jason Garrett is going to have to figure out a way to get people, especially your best athletes and your best yardage after the catch guys, get them into open space more, allow them to create more, and you're going to see a lot more production on offense. So if you made it this deep into the video, I'm calling you a D6 squad member. If you're a D6 squad member, you got to hit that subscribe button. You got to turn on that notification bell. And listen, I make all kinds of content for NFL teams. So if you're not a Giants fan, don't worry. I'll cover your team. If I'm not covering your team, let me know. And have a good one.